Chapter 20 Heidi's Winter Home. To spend the winter in Dorfli, grandfather had found an old house. It was not in good shape, but he repaired it to make it snug and warm. Grandfather and Heidi spent the winter in this house along with the two goats, Little Swan and Little Bear. Heidi went to school and loved it. Heidi was keen that Peter should learn to read properly, but one day Peter surprised everybody in class by reading from his book. Both Peter and Heidi were very happy that day. All winter, Clara wrote long letters to Heidi. When the winter was over and spring had arrived, Heidi got a very exciting letter. Clara wrote she was strong enough to meet Heidi. Heidi suggested to Grandpa that they should return to their mountain home the next day. Clara came to the mountain hut at nearly the end of June. Grandmama came riding on a white horse. Clara had a thin white face when she came. But in the fresh mountain air, she soon began to look rosy. One day Heidi was sitting with Clara under a tree. Peter was grazing his goats nearby. All of a sudden, Clara announced that she felt strong enough to put her feet on the ground. Peter and Heidi supported Clara between them, and very slowly she rose out of a chair. Carefully she put one foot forward and then the other, taking proper steps. She only managed a tiny walk before she sank back into her chair. But that was enough, and that was the beginning of Clara's recovery. Finally, she began to walk leaning on the strong arm of Heidi's grandfather. They sent a telegram to Clara's father. 2 days later, he came too. His joy knew no bounds at seeing his daughter looking so well and strong. He thanked Heidi and her grandfather for making Clara well again. Soon it was time for Clara and her father to back to Frankfurt. Clara was sad to say goodbye to her dearest friend. But her father promised that she could visit Heidi again next spring. Meanwhile, he said, we shall go back and think of all the fine presents we can send Heidi. Heidi said, the best present for me would be the high bed with the soft pillows that I slept in. Everyone was surprised, but Clara understood. You don't want the bed for yourself. You want it for Peter's grandmother. Heidi nodded and everybody laughed. A few days later, the bed arrived. There was much excitement in Peter's house when it was carried in. Granny almost wept for joy when she touched the soft pillows. They threw away the old mattress stuffed with straw that she used to sleep on. Everything was wonderful on the mountain that day and for a long time to come. The end. Thank you.